Are you ready to go into the wild with the EAG? EAG. See them mangrove there, protect them. When you walk with your things, don't left them. Look out for the birds and the snakes, don't scare them. We're going on a wildlife journey to save them. Who you rolling with? EAG. No one does it like EAG. Who cares for the coral reefs and the beach and the seas and even the trees? Who you rolling with? EAG. No one does it like EAG. Who cares the most for the turtles and fishes and trees and also the coast?
Into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild with the EAG. Into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild with the EAG.
Funding for this initiative was provided by the Sandals Foundation, dedicated to preserving the environment and teaching future generations how to care for our precious Caribbean islands and their natural resources. Welcome to the final episode in this series of Into the Wild with the EAG. Today, we're back to take you on a coastal and underwater adventure. It's time to learn all about the animals and plants that live in the sea surrounding our offshore islands. In other words, let's dive into marine ecosystems. Marine ecosystems are just ecosystems that can be found underwater. They all have one important thing in common: seawater. This allows marine ecosystems to be very closely connected to each other so that they can work together to protect our coastlines and provide a healthy home for marine life. This close relationship is known as the power of three because of the three special ecosystems: mangroves, seagrass beds, and coral reefs.
As you should remember from our last episode, mangroves are the backbone of our coastlines, protecting us from storms and filtering dirty water to remove sediment and improve water quality. Red mangrove roots are an important habitat for marine life and form the foundation of the marine food chain. If we look underwater, the roots are covered in creatures like barnacles, oysters, and crabs. Mangroves really are just great, just marvelous. Let's explore them some more and then see what else lies in store.
Working along with mangrove wetlands are seagrass beds and coral reefs. All three of these ecosystems are closely connected, so that any threat to one hurts the other. When one is damaged, none are able to work the way they should, and all marine animals suffer. The health of these ecosystems depends on clean, clear water so that the sun can reach them.
It's time to go underwater. Do you have your swimsuit on? Goggles? Snorkel? Fins? But wait, you know how to swim? Okay, let's go. Seagrass beds are made up of flowering plants that grow on the seafloor. Their grass-like appearance gives them their name, and they are a primary food source for endangered green sea turtles. Sea urchins and sea cucumbers can also be found here.
After seagrass beds, you can find coral reefs. A coral reef is an underwater ecosystem made up of a huge family of corals. The entire coral family is referred to as a reef, hence the name coral reef. Both of these ecosystems are valuable homes for marine animals like turtles, jellyfish, sea urchins, starfish, lobsters, and more.
They also protect our shorelines by breaking big, powerful waves into smaller, less destructive ones. Without these handy ecosystems, it would be a lot more difficult to swim at the beaches we know and love.
Several threats to these ecosystems exist. For example, both are very sensitive to changes in temperature, which means that we risk losing them forever due to climate change.
Also, reefs and seagrass beds are often badly damaged by boats that hit them with their propellers. And we as humans have to be very careful about swimming, snorkeling or diving, as the reefs can be damaged when people stand on them. Another threat is overfishing. This happens when we catch too many fish at once and there are not enough adults to have babies so their population can recover. This causes a shortage of food in the ocean.
Now that you understand the power of 3 and how connected mangrove, seagrass beds and coral reefs are, we want you to show us how our environment looks when these systems are working together versus when they're seriously damaged. Turn to your activity booklet and complete activity 9. Get creative. Really try to convey your message through your art.
Now that you've connected with nature and learned all there is to know about our offshore islands, here are a few key things we want you to remember.
1. Antigua and Barbuda has over 50 unique offshore islands, and each supports a variety of wildlife.
2. The offshore islands are home to species that can be found nowhere else in the whole wide world, like the Antiguan racer, and that makes them very important to us. They also welcome birds from overseas every year who are hoping to find a healthy habitat for them to spend the winter in.
3. There are 4 species of mangrove plants that can be found in Antigua and Barbuda: buttonwood, white, black, and red. These plants are important for providing food and shelter for birds and marine organisms. They also carry out many important ecosystem services.
4. Mangrove, seagrass beds, and coral reefs are known as the power of 3 and all work together to create a healthy, connected marine ecosystem. If any of these ecosystems are damaged, all marine organisms will suffer.
5. If we want to protect the animals and ecosystems that exist on our offshore islands, we have to make sure we don't bring invasive species over from the mainland. This involves carrying out biosecurity checks before leaving the mainland and before getting to the offshore islands. Also, remember to take all your belongings with you when you leave, including food items.
Now that you've learned all about the offshore islands of Antigua, you're well on your way to being an environmental activist. An activist is a person who brings about change. This last activity is going to ask you to work on changing an issue in your school or community. So turn to your activity booklet and complete activity 10. Give it your best shot, because if not now, then when? And if not you, then who? We have had so much fun teaching you all about the amazing habitats and animals we have right here on our very own offshore islands.
And now that you have learned all about how you can take better care of them, we know that you will be mindful of our fragile ecosystems the next time you pay a visit.
We hope that you'll never forget how important the environment is to both humans and wildlife alike, and that you encourage your friends and family to be mindful when visiting the offshore islands. It's all of our responsibility to keep them healthy, clean, and invasive species free.
Before we go, let's all make a quick pledge to our offshore islands to show our love for them. Turn to activity 11 of your booklet, take a stand, and say it along with us.
When I am on the offshore islands, I will remember that I am a guest.
I will respect the wildlife who live there and their habitats.
I will move slowly and speak quietly.
If I disturb anything, I will put it back where I found it.
I will not chase or scare any animals.
I will take all my belongings home with me.
I will try to reduce pollution and protect the animals who live there.
I will tell everyone about how special the offshore islands are to me.
On behalf of all of us at the EAG, thank you so much for joining us for this virtual experience. I'm Shanna.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Nathan.
And this has been Into the Wild with the EAG.
Are you ready to go into the wild with the EAG? EAG. See them mangrove there, protect them. When you walk with your things, don't left them. Look out for the birds